This life you knew before you were cast into the body, the family, the roles you're playing, the identity, was meant to be fun, was meant to be an adventure, was meant to be exciting, and was meant to allow you to explore physical reality in a way that only you could explore it. Only you could have the experiences in the way that you're having them, just as you intended prior to your birth. You all set this up perfectly. And through the law of attraction, the universe dropped you into the perfect place and the perfect body, the perfect time, the perfect family, the perfect community, perfect society, perfect everything. The day you were born, the stars literally aligned for you so that you could embark on this journey of discovery to discover something that you were curious about, that you wanted to explore. And through the very powerful intentions that you set, you explored and are exploring this reality perfectly for you. The time that you're living in now allows for experiences and explorations that could not happen at any other time. There are thoughts and vibrations and ideas that are available to you at this time that were not available on this planet before. There is a lot of energy going on now. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of expansion. And you are perfectly suited for the life that you designed for yourself. You may have gone through challenges. You may have thought things were tough at times. You may have thought you lacked what you needed. But we assure you, there was never one point in your entire life that you did not have everything you needed to go through everything you went through at that time. You may look at those challenges and say, I would rather not have done that. But all of those things made you who you are now. They were part of the process of you becoming who you are. And who you are, no matter how you see yourself or how you choose to see your life, are more expanded, higher vibrational, higher perspective than any other version of you that's ever existed in this lifetime or any past lifetime. You are doing more than you can possibly imagine. And when you return to the non-physical, you will understand exactly how perfect this life was for you. You are going to explore this life. You are going to expand from it. There's nothing you need to do. But if you, as the human in your body, observing what's going on, experiencing what's going on, if you choose to experience this in joy, then there's only one way that will work: to see yourself as the creator of your reality, to see that everything is working out for you perfectly, to see that every experience you have ever had, are having now, and will ever have is a point of expansion and discovery. If you choose to see it from the perception or the perspective of the victim, you will think it's wrong or bad. There is no experience truly, when you look at it from a limited perspective, that can be seen as good or right. And there is no experience, literally, when you choose to see it from the perspective of the creator, that can be seen as wrong or bad. That's exactly how the system works. That's what this radical new approach to life is all about. It is an approach to life where you choose to experience joy in every moment. Now, of course, you have beliefs. Those beliefs have been cobbled together partly through who you truly are and partly who you believe yourself to be, partly what you think will keep you safe, partly what you think you deserve. And this forms your mental construct. This forms your perspective. And you view every event, every experience through the lens of this mental construct. If that lens is more biased towards limitation, then you will look at the event or the people or the situation as wrong or bad. That's fine, because there is a system in place to allow you to see that you're doing this. It's called your emotional guidance system. And so anytime you feel negative emotion about anything, any thought, any event, any possibility, anything that's going on in the rest of the world, and you feel even the slightest negative emotion, the slightest judgment, the slightest bias towards wrong or bad, the thing that you think might need improvement, that is only seen from a limited perspective. So you know where you are. The moment you feel judgment, the moment you feel envy, the moment you feel any emotion below the emotional horizon line, boredom, apathy, any of that, you know you're simply looking at it from the old approach to life as one who perceives that outside conditions and people can make them feel something. It's a limited perspective. Yes, this is the default perspective. It's the perspective that you all came in with. You all adopted this perspective. This is what you firmly believe, that if conditions were better, I would feel better. But as soon as you feel better, the conditions form to reflect that better feeling. But that will still be a limited perspective compared to this perspective you'll have after you've gone through any experience, which means that you are always ascending in perspective. You are always raising your vibration, and you're always attracting a new reality, whether it looks the same to you or not. This is what's happening. It's all coming from within. How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about others? How do you feel about your past? How do you feel about your future? How do you feel about this present moment? How do you feel about every aspect of your life? If you feel wonderful about it, it's the indication that in that area of your life, you're looking at it from a higher perspective, and therefore it feels good. And therefore it reflects that good feeling. Do you see how this works? It's up to you as the human to enjoy this life. There's nothing complicated. It's a very simple system. You choose how you feel, and your reality reflects that feeling back to you. So if you choose to feel that you're inadequate, not worthy, not capable, not good enough, then the reality will reflect that back to you. The people in your life will reflect that back to you. And you've all had enough practice doing this up until this point in time. Well, now you've learned something. You've discovered something, that there is another approach to life. And that approach to life isn't to change the outside conditions. It's to gradually, over time, alter your perception of yourself within your reality. That perception of reality that you choose creates the life that you are experiencing. When you return to the non-physical, you will not care how you chose to experience your life. You will see for certain that you could have enjoyed this life more, but it doesn't matter because it's over. And it doesn't make any difference at all. You will have expanded, and you will absolutely perceive that the life that you lived was perfect in every form. But that's only because there is no illusion of separation in the non-physical. So in the non-physical, your default perception of reality is from an incredibly high perspective, without any illusion, without any lack of information, and knowing who you are completely. And so you'll do it again, and you'll do it again, and you'll do it again, and you'll do it again. Now, your inner self is firmly looking at you and your life from this ultra high perspective where there is no fear, there is no illusion, and knowing your pre-birth intentions. Your inner self knows that you will explore this life based in those illusions, based in those pre-birth intentions. And however you explore it doesn't matter. But your inner self also knows that you intended to explore this life in joy. enjoy. So your inner self is always, always, always guiding you through emotion, through inspiration, through intuition, through clairvoyance, through an understanding, through guides and supporters, through other people in your life, always guiding you to what? To shift your perspective, because your inner self knows if you shift your perspective up, you will feel better, you will enjoy life more, and that reality around you will reflect that better feeling. Now, how does your inner self really do this? Does your inner self give you inspiration to paint your house because your inner self realizes that you will enjoy this better if it's a different color? No. Your inner self guides you through experiences that give you the opportunity to shift your perspective higher. Sometimes those experiences are wonderful, and you can see that your empowering beliefs are responsible for that experience. Sometimes they lead you into a manifestation event where you feel negative emotion because there is some belief that is causing you some hesitation towards acting on inspiration. Well, if your inner self knows how to get you from point A to B and knows that if you have this experience, it'll move you from point A to B. And in that experience, you'll have information that will raise your perspective from point A to point B. And at point B, you'll exist in a higher density. You'll have a greater connection to your inner self. You'll have more clarity. The illusion will be less. And everything you truly want will be coming to you. So your inner self needs to get you from point A to B. Your inner self gives you the inspiration, but you don't act. Give you some more inspiration, but you don't act. You are not acting because fear's popping up, and that fear is too powerful for you to push past it. You simply have not acted. That's all that's happening here. Okay, why haven't you acted? Because there's a belief there that is inaccurate, incomplete, and not beneficial. It's not true at all. But the belief is being triggered when you receive the inspiration, and fear emerges so strong that you will not push past it. If you do not understand that limiting belief, there's nothing that can be done because you will never act on the inspiration. So your inner self puts you into situations where you will act and you will have experiences, and coordinates it with everyone around you, people you know, people you don't know, strangers, and moves you into these experiences called manifestation events where you will feel negative emotion in that experience. It'll be obvious to you. And if you say, why did I feel negative emotion in that experience? It must be a belief that's been triggered by that experience. Since I feel negative emotion, since I judge that thing as wrong or bad, since I think it could have been better than it was, since I think it should not have happened in the first place, I understand there's a belief there that's causing me to see an inaccurate version of reality. What's that belief? Is that belief true? Can we find evidence to prove that belief is not true? And if you do, and if you do the work that you've learned how to do in this boot camp, then you will soften that belief. You won't eliminate it altogether, but you don't need to eliminate it altogether. In fact, once you're aware of the belief, once you've provided evidence to prove it's not true, you've added information to that belief, and that belief becomes less intense. Less intense to the point that when you receive the next inspiration, you will act because the fear that's been triggered by that softened limiting belief is not strong enough to stop you from acting. And then you move to point B. At point B, you've got a higher perspective than you did at point A before you took the action, before you had the experience. at point B. It's a completely different reality. It might look the same to you, but we promise you, because of the work you've done, because you proved that limiting belief is false, because you are seeing yourself from a higher perspective, you've gained information, you have moved to a higher, lighter, easier, faster density. At that level, that higher level, you now see yourself as more. So the entire reality that you experienced before is erased and a brand new reality is put in place. It might look the same, but we promise you it's a completely new reality. It is a reality reflective of a higher perspective. Therefore, there's less illusion of separation. There's more remembering of who you are and what you know. It's easier now to receive inspiration because you're more connected to your inner self and your guides and supporters. From this higher elevated place, perspective, new ideas come to you, new thoughts come to you. You feel better more of the time. You're more inclined to meditate. You're more inclined to open your belief system and expand your identity. It becomes easier to live life, and it's far more exciting for you, the human. It does not make a difference when you return to the non-physical because you can't see wrong. You can't see bad, you can't see better, you can't see worse, you can't see any of that. You will only see perfection. So this is a choice that you will make as the human living your life. Do I want to experience and expand and discover in joy to the fullest of my ability and have a unimaginable life full of experiences with a clarity that has never existed in any human before? Understanding every area of my life and how they work together, how they fit together, understanding the inspiration when it comes and how to do the work to push past fear or reduce the limiting belief to take the action, have the experience move forward, have many experiences, go all over the place. This is what is available to all of you. All of you on the call now, all of you who have completed the boot camp, all of you who are resonating with anything we say, whether you're listening at a later date, could be 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future, does not matter. If you hear these words and resonate with any of these words, if you can even understand what we're saying, you have the opportunity to live life in an unimaginable way as the true creator of your reality. Not creating by changing outside conditions, but creating by consciously doing the work to shift your perspective of yourself in your reality from the victim to the creator. And with that, we'd like to talk to you about anything you'd like to talk about. Who would like to start?